Hi, everybody. I'm thrilled to be here and to share some words of Torah on Parashat Re'eh. I also want to wish David a happy bar mitzvah anniversary. You can feel free to ask him how many years it's been since his bar mitzvah. Parashat Re'eh really begins with sort of the essential human question of Bechira Chofshit, of free will. Moshe begins with in Perek Aleph Pasuk Chavav, Re'eh Anochi Noten Lefanechem Hayom Bracha Uklala, right? Before, see now that I have set before you the blessing and the curse. And essentially the message here is that we as Bnei Yisrael have a choice. We either can listen to the mitzvot that Hashem has set before us, or we can choose not to. And depending on what we choose, there will be a different set of consequences. If we listen to the mitzvot that Hashem has given us, we will be blessed. And if we don't listen to those mitzvot, then we will be cursed. And it's interesting that this week's Parsha has, I believe, the most number of mitzvot in any Parsha. And really, they're mitzvot that touch upon all different parts of our Jewish lives, anything from identifying signs for kosher animals. It goes through all of the holidays. And a big portion of the Parsha actually deals with some of the laws that have to do with creating sort of an socioeconomic, equitable society, right? The mitzvot of Shemitah and also of tzedakah, of giving the land a rest every 7 years and absolving people of their loans, and also that we really just have to look out for poor people who are in our society. However, there's a very interesting set of psukim that sort of contradict each other that I want to pay a little bit close attention to. In Perek Tetvav, which is the Perek that really discusses the laws of Shemitah, Pasuk Daled says as following: Efes ki lo hiye b'cha avyon, ki barechi barechacha Hashem ba'aretz, asher Hashem elokecha noten lacha nachala l'rishta. Right? After it gives the commandment of Shemitah, right, it says at the end of 7 years, you are basically going to, all the creditors are going to release any of the loans that are owed to them. And then it says, but remember, there's going to be no evyon, there's going to be nobody poor among you, because Hashem will bless you in this land that Hashem has given you as a nachala, as an inheritance. So that's really an amazing statement to say. What do you mean that there's going to be no poor people? We certainly see that that's not true in the world and never has been true. And furthermore, later on in Pasuk Gid Aleph, it says exactly the opposite. Ki lo yachadal of yom mikarev haaretz al kein anochi mitzavecha lemor patoch tiptach et yadecha leachicha leinecha uleavyonecha be'artzecha. Right, where it says there will never cease to be poor people in your land. Therefore, Hashem commands you should always, right, patoch tiftach et yadcha, you should always open your hand to your brother, to somebody who's poor, and to somebody who's needy in your land. How do we understand these two psukim, right? Pasuk Dalet is telling us that eventually we will be blessed in a way that there will be no poor people in Eretz Yisrael, and Pasuk Gid Aleph is telling us that there's always going to be poor people. We always have to look around our society and see who are the people who need more from us, and to always remember patoch tiftach et yadcha, right? To always open our hands and to give those people. So Rashi really beautifully and simply explains on Pasuk Daled that really this is the choice of the bracha and the klala, right? That it's really just the choice of if we do what Hashem tells us to do, there won't be any poor people. And if we don't follow and don't listen to the mitzvot and don't listen to Hashem, then there are going to be poor people. And I think this Rashi is really relevant to the period of time that we're going to start. This Shabbat is Mevarchim HaChodesh. And, one of the things that we talk about and that we say in Mevarchim HaChodesh is Chaverim Kol Yisrael, right? This brotherhood that all of us have as Am Yisrael. And also, this is going to be the Mevarchim HaChodesh for Rosh Chodesh Elul, which is going to be on Thursday and Friday. And the first day of Elul is on Friday, really, which is a period of introspection, not just with our relationship with Hashem, but also our relationship within our community and with the people around us. And, so I guess reading this Parsha this week and seeing sort of these two contradictory psukim, which Rashi solves, is basically saying simply, if we take care of those around us by doing those mitzvot that Hashem has commanded us, then there aren't going to be poor people in our society. But if we make a choice not to listen to the mitzvot and not to do what Hashem says and not create the just society that the mitzvot are supposed to lead us to, it's really that simple. Then there are going to be poor people around us. And therefore, I think what we're trying to learn here is, as we approach Rosh Chodesh Elul and we begin this period of introspection, is to really think about what do we want our choices to be. And can we develop these choices, as we're going to say tomorrow, right, of Chaverim Ko Yisrael, choices where we really look out for our community, where we really look at who needs more, who is disadvantaged, who could use even maybe not monetary, but just a listening ear, a friendship, an extended hand. So what I want to wish for everybody is that we really use this period of looking out for those in our community, thinking how we can stay connected to each other in this time where we're not as connected as we usually are, and to really realize that every day we have this choice of the bracha and klala, right? It's really our choice to decide how do we want to implement those mitzvot that Hashem has given to us, and to remember this promise that we're giving us, that is given to us in Parshat Re'eh, that when we do Hashem's mitzvot, right, we should be blessed. And when we don't do Hashem's mitzvot, there is going to be a consequence to that. And in no way do we see that more than this promise that's made in Perek Tet Vav, right? These two contradictory psukim, right? That we could have a society where we won't have anybody who's poor, where we won't have the Avion, or we could have a society where we, always have constant poverty. The choice is ours, and I hope we choose wisely.